The coffee had already gone cold, but she hadn't noticed. Her phone rested quietly on the table. One more swipe, another smiling face, another promotion, another vacation, another engagement, another life that somehow looked better than hers. She sighed, locked the screen, then opened it again. Just a few seconds later, it wasn't curiosity anymore. It had become a habit. Without realizing it, she had stopped living her own life and started watching everyone else's. The strange thing is, nothing had actually gone wrong. She had a steady job, people who cared about her, dreams she was slowly building. Yet every time she looked at someone else, her own progress felt smaller. Comparison has a quiet way of stealing joy, not all at once, but little by little, day after day. The promotion doesn't feel exciting because someone else became a manager. Your vacation doesn't feel special because someone else flew farther. Your success no longer belongs to you because your mind has quietly placed it into a competition you never agreed to join. Here's the strange part. Most of us know comparison makes us unhappy, and yet we keep doing it again and again and again. Why? Because the human brain was never designed to measure success in isolation. Long before social media existed, our ancestors survived by paying attention to other people who had more food, who had more influence, who was accepted, who was rejected. Belonging meant survival. Thousands of years later, our world has changed, but our brains haven't changed quite as quickly. Today, instead of comparing ourselves to 20 people, we compare ourselves to millions. Every scroll becomes another reminder of what we think we haven't achieved, and without noticing, we slowly begin believing that everyone else is moving forward except us. But what if comparison is showing us only half of the story? There is something social media rarely shows you: the sleepless nights, the failed attempts, the moments when someone questioned their own worth. We usually see the finish line, almost never the thousands of steps that came before it. Imagine watching the last 5 minutes of a marathon. One runner crosses the finish line. The crowd cheers. Photographers rush forward. Everyone applauds the victory. But what you didn't see were the months of training, the injuries, the mornings they wanted to quit, the sacrifices no one applauded. Life works the same way. We compare our everyday reality to someone else's highlight reel, and then we wonder why we feel behind. Psychologists call this social comparison theory. Without even realizing it, our minds constantly ask, how am I doing compared to everyone else? Sometimes comparison inspires us. It shows us what is possible, but more often, it quietly becomes a measuring stick, not for our progress, but for our worth. And that's where the problem begins, because worth cannot be measured the same way success can. Think about a garden. The rose doesn't bloom at the same time as the sunflower. The oak tree doesn't grow at the same speed as the bamboo. Yet none of them believe they are failing. Only humans look at someone else's season and decide there must be something wrong with their own. Perhaps the hardest part about comparison isn't seeing someone else's success. It's forgetting your own journey. You stop noticing the skills you've learned, the fears you've overcome, the person you've quietly become, because your eyes are always fixed on someone else's road. Imagine driving across a beautiful mountain road. Instead of looking ahead, you spend the entire trip staring through someone else's window. Sooner or later, you'll forget where you were going. Comparison doesn't only steal happiness, it steals direction. The more you chase someone else's version of success, the further you drift from your own. And maybe that's why so many people reach goals they never truly wanted, not because they chose them, but because they copied them. The question is no longer, why are they ahead? Perhaps the better question is, am I even walking my own path? One day, an old traveler was asked a simple question: how do you know if you're moving fast enough? He smiled, looked at the long road ahead, and replied, "Fast enough." For whom? The person asking didn't understand. So the traveler picked up two small stones from the ground. One was smooth, the other was rough and uneven. "These stones," he said, "have spent years in the same river. One changed quickly, the other changed slowly, but neither one was wrong." Sometimes we treat life like a race, always checking who is ahead, who is behind, who reached the finish line first. But life was never built like a single road. It's a forest. Some trees grow tall within a few years. Others take decades before their roots become strong enough to rise from above. They all look different, yet underground, every root is quietly growing at its own pace. Perhaps people are the same. Some find love early, some build careers later, some discover who they truly are at 40 or 50 or even older. None of those stories are late. They're simply different. Imagine carrying a backpack filled with stones. Each stone has someone else's name, their salary, their appearance, their relationship, their achievements. The more comparisons you collect, the heavier your own journey becomes. Now imagine placing those stones back on the ground, not because they don't matter, but because they were never yours to carry. Maybe peace doesn't arrive when you finally become better than everyone else. Maybe it arrives the moment you stop keeping score. Years from now, you probably won't remember how many followers someone else had, or who bought the bigger house, or who seemed more successful for a little while. But you will remember the quiet mornings when you felt proud of becoming a little wiser than yesterday, because that's the only comparison that never steals your happiness. It gives it back. Thank you for spending these moments with Psychology Canvas. If today's story stayed with you, subscribe for more videos exploring human behavior, emotional intelligence, and overthinking. One story, one step, and one quiet realization at a time.